The people on this land, I know the nations, but it doesn't call it by this name. We already know it's not truly a nation. But right now, all 198 nations are looking at you as the stupidest people on the planet, led by the stupidest people on the planet. And they are beyond tired dealing with the criminality that has come out of this Babylonian system based here in the U.S. They've got war crime charges and genocide and human rights abuses, and the list is so long that I'm not sure it could even be counted. Since over 252 years, we already know that there's maps out there where it's calling this area here the U.S. are like at least 500 years old. They're not telling you that. But the nations are no longer going to allow you to continue to do those evil deeds to them. And you need to wake up. Because the very people that are sitting in those so-called seats of Washington, D.C., have been involved with and tied to some of the most evil, heinous actions on this planet. Right now, they're fighting for their very lives to stay in control. And they don't care one whit about you. They may be more than happy to take all of you out if it means they get to stay in power. So you better wake up, America. Those of you that are still out there calling yourself U.S. citizens, all that means is you have submitted yourselves to a bunch of criminals, and they have the right to do with you whatever you see fit, whatever they see fit. That's why the FEMA camps now are bringing in housing to house any of the people that those criminals deem to be non-productive. That's why we've been telling you, you better index yourself, because that removes you from their jurisdiction. That places you in a position of protection. It puts you under the protection of the War Powers Act. That is what has been done for the protection of mankind through the Universal World Court. Your indexing protects you. It makes you a sovereign principal, not a sovereign citizen. That's an oxymoron. You can't be sovereign and a citizen at the same time. You're one or the other. You're either sovereign and able to govern yourself under your Creator, under the rights that He provided you when He gave you the breath of life, or you're a citizen under the control of someone else. So in indexing, you become a sovereign principal. Your rights are restored. You're recognized internationally. You also are placed as a beneficiary of the Bathsheba and Esther Trust. That's your restoration and your redemption. So now you still have some time to go ahead, go to the SOVCPR.com website, check out the section under indexing. There's a tab at the top of the homepage. Get yourself indexed while you're still able, because that will be your protection, your restoration, and your redemption. A new system of vaccination has come out now. It's called a nano patch. They are able to very inexpensively be mass-produced now. These patches have something called luciferase, which means biochemistry. Check it out, family. With that, I'd like to go ahead and yield back to you, sir.
Hello, Johnny. How do you hear me?
Clearly, sir.
You were just now talking about the nano patch. Do you know how long that nano patch has been around now?
Oh, quite some time, but they're starting to mass produce it in Australia now, I understand.
Let me help you out. The nano patch came out in 1974. Is that long enough for them to mass produce it now?
Yes.
I'm just helping you out. Listen, the nano patch is used most of the time during military service. The nano patch was given to them in order that they could be able to use it, because it's also used like a would-be serum for when you get infected by biological chemicals, okay? So it didn't just come out. They just started lacing it with a whole lot of other would-be things that they use for different and various so-called would-be infections and diseases. That's the only thing they've been doing. But the nano patch, 1974. 1974. Do you understand that's how long the military has been conducting business solely on computer? You know that, right?
Makes sense.
Since 1974. Let's just say the Vietnam War officially ended around 1975. Do you know that, right? Officially.
Yes.
That was official year that they gave Vietnam for ending, the Vietnam War. They gave an official date of 1975. Somewhere around between 74 and 75, okay, it ended. Okay. Most of the would-be so-called soldiers that fought in Vietnam are still over there. They didn't bring them all home. That's why every now and then you have a story come out in the movie theaters or possibly on some drama TV show where they're talking about a group of men that's getting together and they're going to go and rescue some of their buddies from Vietnam. You know, these are things in which America, and that's why I was just a few minutes ago, I'm giving them some knowledge of what they need to understand, that they are sadly being fooled and tricked and manipulated to believe. You know, providing that America is the dumbest nation on this planet, and I don't like saying that in a derogatory, negative way. I want the people of this area, this land, to recognize that you have not been given any truth whatsoever, none. And I don't want you to blame your mothers. You can't blame your fathers. You know, it's beyond having to blame them or hold them responsible for it, because they, too, was being manipulated, lied to, and tricked. The average melanated person that you go down to the South to now, they would tell you that they've always been in those conditions. They have those poverty-stricken communities. Might be I don't know why those people won't clean it up. I don't know why they won't fix it. Let me help you out, because it takes a whole lot to fix them up, especially when they go down to try to purchase those items, and they're being told they cannot. They're being told that they need a permit to fix a toilet. Well, you need a permit to do that. You just can't go in. You can't even turn the lights back on. Well, you need a permit. You need a license to be an electrician. You need to understand why those things have not yet been repaired, or why they haven't been put there. Because you got some pencil-pushing punk, some cockadoing Caucasian that's sitting in a seat pretending that you need a license for something when he himself can't do it. I'm just calling it like it is. I'm not attacking my brothers. I'm telling the brothers, my cockadoing Caucasian brothers that still classify themselves as being such, I'm letting them know that they can't even get something done most of the time, because they're being told that they need a so-called builder's permit, or they need an electrician license, or they need a plumbing license. And half of them that know how to do the work won't do it just because they don't have that piece of paper. They will have sewage running back in their kitchen sink, and they will not fix it because they will tell you they don't have a license to do it. They will tell you they don't have a permit to do it. So they'll just let it back up, knowing that they know how to do it. That's the ignorance. That's the manipulation. That's the brainwashing that the United States of America has placed upon a people that I say now, I don't know when the people are going to pull their heads out of their full point of contact. For those of you that's been around for a while, you know the full point of contact is. When I say pull your head out of it, you need to pull it out. You know, you're walking around. I just told you there's 7 million illegal immigrants on this land right now. 17 million. And I need you to understand, some of those immigrants, out of those 17 million, you might have 1 million of them that has not been classified a criminal in their own nation. I'm just telling you the truth. Yes, I remember Donald Trump telling you that, but nobody believed him. Do you know that they right now have what they call nothing more than a cartel gang of about 3 million illegal immigrants that runs casinos in America right now? I'm just telling you. No, they wasn't already here. They just came here. What do you think? I'm just telling you what happened. Listen. You're wondering why the policemen are running around shooting people at will. They're getting calls. They're getting calls from communities about riots that are nothing more than gangs out shooting, cartels shooting at night at each other. But they're being told that it's coming from next door at some neighbor's house. Yes, it's coming from neighbor's house. It's not the neighbors who are doing it, though. It's those people that they're not going to comply to your law. They was not abiding and complying to the laws of the land they came from. That's why they left. I'm just telling you, these are things that Congress is not explaining to the people. They tell us now that America, for its women, and I'm talking to you ladies out there, are concerned. The women outnumber the men right now in America about anywhere from about 20 to 1. That's a fact. I need you to understand that the average one of those women now find themselves held up in the house, call themselves doing nothing more than becoming a baby's mama for one of these foreign would-be so-called illegal aliens, immigrants. Only adding to the would-be so-called population and the trouble in which America has already incurred based upon the fact of bringing and allowing 17 million illegal immigrants to come over. And they down there with T-shirts on saying, Mr. Biden, let me in. And Joe Biden is claiming that, well, we got to be equal to all people. We got the homosexuals they're on the other side of the water, aren't they? Those all LGBTQs, let them over. He don't know who they are. They can come up there tomorrow with a T-shirt on, a pink wig on. They can be from San Salvador, El Salvador. They can be from Boogaloo, Tugalo. He don't care if they're wearing a red or green wig and they say that we're LGBTQ. He gonna let them in because he just wants to kiss up to the people like he tried to kiss up to Modi and bring him over so he can get along. He don't care. Right now, he needs some some votes. He needs some people to agree with him when he goes into the courtroom and he says that the majority of the people say that Hunter is innocent. He needs that number of people. He got 17 million illegal immigrants right now. He believes it's going to be there to stand on that court day to help Hunter out. And I'm here to tell him that's not going to happen. I'm telling him he set this up for failure. Other immigration groups have put the number at around 11 million, even though America knows for a fact it's 17 million. Other immigration groups, they got more than one group that's doing the would-be so-called, we might say the percentile. They're checking to see where they all came from. And they got other immigration groups, about 5 other groups that said that they put the number at 11 million. They got the American group, and I would say the ACLU already knows too that number is about 17 million and even possibly higher. They already know that. And I don't want to just, beat this down into the ground, but you need to understand what's happening, that they're doing that, and they're doing that to eliminate having to allow the American people to vote. The more immigrants that they bring in and make them legal and give them an opportunity to vote, they believe that these immigrants don't know them that well. They believe that these immigrants are going to give them the benefit of a doubt and vote for them, believing that they're going to receive something out of it. So that's why they're in a rush to hurry and get them in and get them qualified to be citizens so they can let them vote. But at the same time, they realize that the people that are already in the land, already classified as citizens, already recognize that they can't be trusted, so they're no longer voting. So what America does after that is they start doing something they call redistricting. All of you already know what redistricting is. They don't redistrict your community. They don't redistrict your would-be so-called town. They don't redistrict your state. They don't redistrict everything that's around you. Redistricting. They don't redistrict the school would-be so-called areas. They don't redistrict even where the churches are located at. Everybody's been redistricted. And that's only so they can qualify certain things the way they want it to be. And most of the people say, well, I'm glad they redistrict my area because, I didn't like being over there in that Indian town. We wasn't an Indian town. We've been civilized. Listen, you idiot, it's got nothing to do with you being civilized. It's got everything with you having a brain in your head. It's obvious you've been civilized, but you wasn't given a brain. Who cares you know how to finally hold a fork right? You can't do nothing else but hold a fork. You don't even know how to stab the meat right. And here you are talking about what we've been civilized. What's wrong with you? Who in the world got 2 forks trying to eat a steak? You ain't civilized. Wake up. Cut small pieces of the meat. That ain't civilized. Hurry up and eat the thing. We gotta go. But anyway, civilized. You better wake up and realize that what done happened to you is you've been manipulated. That's what you've been civilized in, manipulation. It's civilized. That's how you lost your house. I'm not attacking you. That's why you got evicted, because you think you've been civilized. I know. You were glad to get evicted, wasn't you? Because all that civilizing that you were done, you couldn't kill all them roaches, could you? I know it. You couldn't keep all them flies from coming through that screen door in the back with the hole in it, could you? I know. You couldn't keep all that water from coming through the ceiling every month, could you? That was dripping through it. I know, but you've been civilized. And you couldn't even get the apartment complex to make a few repairs and you've been civilized. Shut up and be quiet. Don't stand up again talking about civilized. I'm just helping you out. I'm trying to wise you up. I'm trying to give you some true information. Here you are talking about too civilized. Sit down. We all are trying to fix the planet. We're trying to do nothing more than reset this messed up world. We are the World Global Reset Restoration Network family. We are 198 sovereign nations. These sovereign nations makes up of 7 billion people with real true minds to realize and recognize that something is wrong, and we don't need you talking to us about you civilized. Yeah, I hear you, Granny. We're going to hell in a handbasket, and this idiot talking about being civilized. Why do the nations rage and the people plot a vain thing? For the kings of the earth and the rulers, they take counsel together against me and my Father God, saying, let us break their bonds in pieces, let us cast their cords from us. I know, I'm not reading it, I'm not looking at it. You possibly need to read it and look at it. I'm just giving it to you straight from my head. I'm telling you what it's really saying. Perhaps maybe I did miss a couple of words in the book. I know what I'm talking about. I need you to recognize what I just said. Stay with me. It comes out of the book. Psalm 2. Stay with me. Go read it. I'm trying to help you out here. Wow. I know. They say 30 plus and counting. I say 40 plus and counting. But it's only numbers. And I don't like doing numbers because then we start getting in that position where we start thinking that we're running out of time or that we've been doing it too long or we're going to run out of time and we need to hurry up. I know what happens when we start dealing with the numbers. Stay with me for a moment longer here. Or below to Putin, they would say. Are you crazy? Them people are not about to stage the coup. They don't have to. They still got oil. Yeah, they got a lot of oil. They shut down their oil production going to Europe. So they don't have to worry about giving Europe got. Say with me then, so you understand why those people didn't stage a coup, you idiot, like you wanted them to. They're not crazy. They know they're not going to be able to get any American oil because they know America can't get any OPEC oil. They already know that OPEC already told you no. They already know that. Be quiet and listen. You senators, you senators, listen to me. You want to win your election? Shut up. Sit down. Be quiet. You're talking too much with no knowledge, no understanding of what you're talking about. No understanding of what you're talking about means you have no knowledge. That's what that means. You have no knowledge. You don't got no knowledge. Stay with me. Know what you're talking about. No, you're not going to be able to destroy those nations by trying to go in and destroy one of their leaders at a time, because it don't work like that. Because now all those leaders are there. You're right. I love it when you got somebody in the room that understands. Those leaders now are working together. And they're working together to do one thing, to destroy the United States of America. No, not because they hate America. That has nothing to do with it. They have found out what America's really all about. That's what they're doing. They have already found the time to sit down. They don't need nobody to tell them nothing. They all read your history of America for 250 years. They've been reading all about you. They read that in 1600, Americans had decided to do nothing more than enslave a bunch of black people on their own land. They can read. They don't need anybody to tell them that. They don't need me to break away off the plantation with chains still hanging around my neck and on my ankles and on my wrists for them to be able to understand that. They read what you wrote, you knuckleheads. Be quiet. They don't need anybody to tell them that still in 1973 and 72, in 2001 and 2002, America was still hanging black people. They were putting them chains around their neck and tying them to the back bumper of cars and pulling them down the street in Vital, Texas. Stay with me. They don't need me to break away from the plantation to tell them about their history of human violation. They don't need that, America. Be quiet. Be quiet. The nations are fed up with you. I'm telling you. Why do the nations rage and they plot vain things? Listen to the message. Read the book. The kings of the earth and rulers take counsel together. Why do you think they're coming together, America? They're going to get you. They read your history, where we conquered the Spaniards in 1812. No, you didn't. You killed a bunch of Spanish people illegally. You invaded them. They know how to read between the lines. They understand your wording. They understand why you're putting it in that manner. You're trying to make a massacre sound legal. It's not. Then you're quick to say, well, President Kennedy was assassinated, but he wasn't the only. But that was murder. America, you murdered a man. Assassinated. And that was so sophisticated. It wasn't. It was murder. Murder. First, second, third, I don't care what degree you put it in, it was murder. And you had 4 other presidents you did that to. You murdered them. Assassinated. Like you just moved the leadership around just because you decided to stick a bullet in somebody's head. Like, oh, it's okay. You know, we got another one and he was bad. America, wake up. The nations are watching you. They already know your record. They got your history. All of the leaders, trust me, all the leaders are talking. They're telling me they're waiting for the right time. They're not waiting for me to tell them anything, but they got paid. I can tell you right now, they're not about to get paid until the job is completed. I don't care what they're doing. It has nothing to do with me. That's between you and them. Whatever you owe them, you pay them. I'm not going to pay your bill for you. We sitting at the table. I told you when we came in, every man was paying for his own dinner. So don't come asking me to loan you some money. For what? So you can pay for your meal? I already told you. If I was loaning you money to pay for your meal, I could have just paid for your meal before we came in here. I could have paid at the door and everybody could have came and ate like a buffet. But now you want to sit down here, eat with me, and now you want me to loan you some money to pay for your meal? No, are you serious? Stay with me. I'm just giving to you, America, the way they're talking to you right now. It's what all the nations are getting you to understand. You're so worried about trans. You're so worried about homosexuals. You're so worried about the gay man wanting to have a parade. You're so worried about the people that want to do nothing more than have a drag parade. Not a drag parade where cars get side by side and one run faster than the other. You're talking about 2 faggot dudes that want to sit there and paint each other's face. That's a drag race or a drag parade you want to have. Stay with me. I'm trying to wake you up. Stop being crazy all your life. Trans. Listen. There are no trans women and trans men. They are the men or the women. Who cares they got their transmission chains in their rear end? Nobody cares. Stay with me. I know it's nope. That's just the way you made it sound. You made it sound like it was so easy. We'll just pull her up in here. We'll take her front end off. We'll take her front end and place it on her back end, and she'll be a brand new would-be individual. You made it sound like you were just moving the transmission around in the car. Don't be talking to me like I'm crazy. Transferring parts from one automobile to the other. That's the way you make it sound. It's not that easy. I know. So stop it. Stop trying to confuse the people like it is. It's not that easy. It's dangerous. opinion, indigenous partnership, they said the key to accelerating the so-called would be energy transition. I told you that before, because they keep bringing the story back and forth. And every time I look at the pictures, it's kind of like, who is he? They got one white man with on a jacket with all of these so-called would-be symbols on the side of it, like he's some monarch. And on the other side, they got this white man wearing a headdress of nothing more than a bunch of feathers. He looked like a brand new peacock. I don't know what he's trying to be. So what? They call him an Indian chief. He looks like a peacock to me. I'm just telling you what they're doing. And they're actually claiming that he is some so-called indigenous person. And I guess he was with one of the Congo birds that came from somebody else to stay with me. I'm just trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. Don't start talking to me like you're crazy. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. He the one who's wearing a war bonnet and never been to war in his life. I know that for a fact. I can look at him. He ain't got no scars on. He never been to war in his life. I got some scars I can show you. I got one leg that looked like it got blown up before. I got a print in my chest. Looked like it got something hit me in the chest before. But I can show you what it was. I can tell you what both of them was. I sure can. After I woke up, I realized. But I can tell you one thing. I got a mark on my face. Yeah, they took about a half inch, they would say, of a piece of concrete out of my cheek. I know. I can tell you. I still got the scar. But I need you to understand, he's wearing a head bonnet that says that there's a war chief, and he don't have no scars on it whatsoever. He may have had his appendix removed. I don't know. I didn't pull his pants down. You do that. But I need you to understand, he is not a war chief. He's not an indigenous person. I can tell you that. His skin color ain't right, for one, and I'm not being racist. I'm just being truthful. Indigenous people, they do that every year, bringing out guys. That's worse than me telling you to wear blackface and you're a white man. That right now, that's a racial statement. That's a racial slur. That could get you in trouble. That could get you banned from your job and get you kicked out of the house. It can get you put on Facebook, called a Karen. You could be called a lot of names behind wearing blackface right now. Why are they letting him wear a headdress of Indian feathers of some war chief, and he ain't never been to war? Neither that, but he is like him wearing blackface to me. I don't recognize that. That's racist to me. In the worst kind of manner. So what? He may be 1/8 Cherokee, he say. Where about? Where do you get the 1/8 from? You either have a mama and a daddy. Where do you get the 1/8? Where do you get the 1/5? Where do you get the 1/6 from? How does that happen in a family anyway? You help me out. I don't know. I'm only saying this, America, because when you get through playing games with everybody, they're going to stop getting this serious with you. Because right now, no nation is about to play games with America anymore. Never, never again are they going to play a game with you. I'm going to tell you what they're about to play. They're about to play their last game with you, America. You want to know what that is? Hide and seek. They're about to hide everything on this planet from you that's of righteousness. And they want you to find it. Got work to do. Because America just don't want to recognize reality and truth. They want to hold on. Hold out. Maybe this thing is going to get better. Maybe we might get some money. They're trying to bring everybody to court right now. So a monetary so-called court. They want to have a trial right now based upon currency. They want to have a trial. They want to find somebody liable for the gold so they can switch it from the gold to Bitcoin. They want to find somebody liable for the Bitcoin so they can switch it from the Bitcoin to the Ethercoin or to the Dogecoin. Or perhaps we can just put this thing in cryptocurrency if somebody just signs off on it. But we got to have a trial. We got to find somebody responsible. We got to find somebody guilty of not allowing us to use the gold. Let me help you out, America. You ain't never had no use of gold. You've been claiming to have use of the gold. That's how you was able to run up all of them tabs and make all them bills and live in those would-be so-called beautiful homes and drive those beautiful cars. Because you've been able to drive, you've been able to run up a tab of doing nothing more than getting credit from all around the world. You got Mercedes from Germany. Stay with me. You got Ferraris from France. You got, stay with me. I'm just telling you where you got all of that equipment from. You got China from China. You got, stay with me, I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. You want to hear about it? You got trunks from Germany. I mean, you got English would-be so-called furniture from England. Stay with me. I'm just telling you. Stop it. You got silver from the so-called royal house. I'm telling you where you got all of these so-called would-be luxuries that you got, and you haven't paid for them yet. You got all that stuff on credit, and now everybody done sat down. They done figured it out. Wait a minute. So you're telling me that they keep telling me they're going to pay me, but they keep bringing me only this amount of money because they got it from you? But they owe you too. I know. But that's why they only gave him this, because they borrowed that from him. And everybody done figured it out now, America. They figured out that you're moving other people's money around in a huge, large world circle, but you're not paying anybody what you owe and what you're borrowing. And now you're asking for another loan. And you're serious about that. You need $4 trillion over at least the next 10 years. Right. Who do you think is going to loan you that? Where you going to get it from? Well, we need $6 trillion over the next 7 years. Who's going to loan you $1 trillion a year when you're already 99? Come on. You're already in debt. You're 99% in debt. You're 1% away from being entirely broke. A bargain, not something you will have. I know you will have no credit there. You're 1% away from not having credit, or no credit for credit. 1% away from it. And you haven't paid $1, 1 penny, 1 copper penny. And all the nations now sat down, they done went over their books, they done checked their registers, they looked at what you owe them, they have sat down and they're comparing their note with everybody else's note. And it seems that everybody else's note is telling them why you're saying you owe $31 trillion, or $200 trillion, or $400 trillion, or $900+ trillion. They already know now why you're crying and screaming, because you owe everybody. And you owe everybody almost the exact same amount. Add it up. You do the numbers. If you owe $2 trillion to 198 nations, count it up. 20 trillion. That's 20 times 198 nations. Do the numbers. 20 trillion times 198 nations. 20 trillion. 198 nations. Tell me how much you owe the world right now. And then you came and took the last world's trust of $875 billion, which right now would have grossed us $900+ trillion. You tell me how much you owe. But all the nations already know. They're already calculating. And they're saying right now, they're using the same phrase I'm using. BBHMM. If somebody translated it for you, we sent you a translation on it. It's obvious that you didn't read it. If somebody translated it for you. Rihanna's a good place to start. I'm just giving you a hint. I got work to do. I looked outside my window. It's gotten dark out there. Yeah. Man must work while it's still day, for a night coming, no man can work. All right? I work today. Also, I have to work while it gets dark on my side of the house, because I looked outside my window once again. And again, there's a candle sitting outside my window. It's sitting on a small desk. That desk is burning that candle real bright, and it's holding it in place. I got to go. There's a little old man that's sitting there. He's the supervisor. He's in charge. He is the creator of all things. He is the one who holds the world in the palm of his hand. I got to go get with him. That's one person I can never be able to say, I'll get it later. I got to do it now. So, between you and I'm going to quickly help you get into bed so you can get your rest. And you've earned it. You're worthy of it. I say you're worthy. I say that you deserve it. Hurry up. Come on now.